So if you want to reference it later or share it with your team, you can. What we are going to talk about tonight is product dosages and overcoming objections. So for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Angie Atkinson. I'm a nutrition health coach. I've been in the nutrition kind of industry / world for about 7 years now. And so, sharing with people how to take their products and how to really optimize their wellness journey is one of my passions. So I just wanted to do this Zoom. I also wanted to help those of you who have customers who maybe haven't stuck with their products long enough, or help you to know how to talk to your customers so that they have realistic expectations of what Plexus can and will do for them. So one of the most important things that you can help to do to determine the success of your customers and your wholesale ambassadors is to communicate with them. Right away, you want to set up those good communication lines. You want things to do to communicate. You want to make sure that they receive their product. So always follow up with them in 3 to 5 business days, depending on your location, how long it usually takes to ship to you, to make sure that they have received their products. I always help to get in touch with me when they receive their products, and I will help coach them through how to take them so that we open those lines of communication right away. Make sure that they know how to take their products, which we're going to talk more about specifics here in just a minute. Make sure you're staying. We've got some background noise, so if you aren't currently muted, have to mute yourself. So make sure they know how to take their products. We'll talk about that more. Make sure they're staying consistent. So one of the things you want to do right off the bat with a new customer or ambassador is help them to set up that subscription order so that they do not have a lag between when they finish up their first month of products and when they get their second month, because it's so easy to forget to order. So really, if you can, walk them through that process when they're signing up, getting that subscription order turned on. If you're not physically able to do that, and they seem to miss that step or bypass it, you see that they don't have a subscription in place, contact them immediately after you see that everything's gone through and just say, hey, it looks like you missed a step. I want to set you up for success. We talked about how long to take your products to see success, because I always tell people they have to give the products at least 60 to 90 days, and there is a 60-day money-back guarantee. So just be sure they have that subscription set up. If they need help doing that, that is your job. So help them get that set up. Walk and talk them through detox. Okay. That's going to be different for everybody, but we're going to break down the specifics on that as well. And pull in your upline there if necessary. We'll talk more about that also. Tonight, we are going to quick touch on how to take the products optimally and how to handle when people are telling you that the products are not working for them. So here's what I tell people as far as how to take the top 6 most common Plexus products. So Slim, I tell people to take it first thing in the morning when their blood sugar is the most sensitive. Or if there's somebody that is prone to an afternoon lag in energy or evening sweets cravings, I may tell them to take it in the afternoon. I prefer to take my Slim around 2 or 3 p.m. when I used to reach for a cup of coffee and kind of get the yawns. And then I tend to not crave sweets the whole rest of the day, and evenings used to be worse for me. But some people are jittery or hungry in the morning, or they're eating cereal or toast or oatmeal or higher carb breakfast. And the Slim will help to offset that by stabilizing their blood sugar. So there's really no wrong time to take their Slim, but just give them a suggestion and then help them fine tune that from there. BioCleanse, I tell people to take their BioCleanse all together before bed. For me, that works nicely because I tend to have a nice bowel movement the next morning, and I don't have to worry about having to usually find somewhere throughout the day on and off. Whereas if I was taking them in the morning, sometimes mid-afternoon, I was having to hunt down a potty. ProBio 5, I tell people to take together with breakfast or supper. Either is fine. Vital Biome is one that is definitely best on an empty stomach if you can. So I tell people to take it first thing in the morning. Mega X, I tell people to take with their BioCleanse before bed. Mega X is super, super helpful for sleep, and there's no reason to not take it with your BioCleanse. Really, the only products you want to try to space apart from one another, if you can, are your BioCleanse and your ProBio 5. The ProBio 5 and Vital Biome are designed to hold the good bugs, the probiotics in your gut. The BioCleanse is designed to flush out the bad bugs. So I learned at convention that taking those two together could potentially reduce their effectiveness. An X Factor or X Factor Plus, I tell people to take together with breakfast. So let's say that you're on Slim, BioCleanse, ProBio 5, Vital Biome, Mega X, and X Factor Plus. Let's go through a super simple schedule. First thing in the morning, you take your Vital Biome before you have anything. With breakfast, you take a ProBio 5 and your 2 X Factor Plus. With supper, you take another ProBio 5. And before bed, you're taking your BioCleanse and Mega X. Now, that can be complicated for people who have not taken supplements before. So if you are checking in with them and they're struggling to remember to take some of the products, no matter what time of day it is, or struggling with staying consistent, please just tell them to take everything all at once. We know that these products work, you guys, but in order for them to work, we have to take them and we have to stay consistent. So I have someone who's a bartender. He eats once during the day before he goes into work, and that's usually around 2 or 3 p.m. That's his only opportunity to take supplements. He takes his Slim, his BioCleanse, and his ProBio 5 all at the same time, and he is feeling better. So your customers and ambassadors will still see results if they take everything all at once. I was just trying to share with you how to optimally take those products. So let's move on a little bit as far as handling objections go. And go ahead and mute yourself if you aren't already muted. If handling objections, so if the products are not working, right, that's something that you do. You check in with people and they say, oh, the products aren't working, or I don't feel any better. If you get that answer, if you get the products aren't working, it either means one of two things. It either means that A, the person feels worse and they're detoxing, or B, they feel no change in the time frame that they expected. So I want to talk about that for a minute. I want to talk about setting up expectations with people. From the offset, you should be telling every single person that they need to give the products a bare minimum of 60 days. Plexus has a 60-day money-back guarantee for this very reason. They know that gut health does not improve overnight. Most people are not going to feel better on 2 days or even on 2 weeks of the products. It takes time. Our guts did not get unhealthy overnight, and they're not going to get healthy overnight either. So be sure that you're telling people up front when they ask about cost, tell them you have to give the products at least 60 days to see if they're going to help you. I usually tell people 60 to 90 days, depending on what they have going on. Tell them that improvements continue to happen over time. It takes 6 to 18 months to heal the gut. So I continue to see, I'm over 1.5 years into my Plexus journey, I continue to see changes in my cravings and the foods I gravitate towards, changes in my energy levels. I still see benefits, less inflammation from these products. And that is after a long time. So just because you've taken the products for a few months does not mean that you've achieved the maximum benefit you're going to get from them. When you check in, this is super, super important. When you check in with new customers and new ambassadors, do not ask them, how are you feeling? How are things going? For one, to most people, that's going to imply that they should feel better. So if you check in with them after 5 days on the products and you say, how are you feeling? They're probably going to say, oh, I don't feel any different. Well, we know they're not going to feel different in 5 days, so why are we asking them? Here are some things that you can say instead, okay? You can say, how do you like the pink drink? How do you like the flavor of the pink drink? I stole that from Brooke Hemingway. She's awesome. I've only had a couple people ever say they don't like the flavor of it, and then you can kind of help them doctor it or walk them through taking it in a way that hopefully they don't have to have much of the flavor, but we know those people are crazy because the pink drink's awesome, right? Another question that I will ask people when I'm checking in with them is, how is your water intake? We know water is super important, especially during the early phases of detox with the products. Another question that I always ask within the first 2 weeks is, how has it been going establishing a routine with your products? This is their chance to tell you that they're not being consistent, or that they always remember to take their products in the morning, but they are tired and they fall asleep and forget their evening doses. That's when you're going to tell them, simplify it, take it all at once, whether that's morning or night, whatever works for you. Other tricks that I've used with people: set an alarm in their phone for a time that they know they're going to be home. Fill a pill case on a weekly basis that they have with them. They can pop it in their purse, keep their products in their purse, keep their products on their counter so that they see them. Set their probiotics by their toothbrush so they remember to take them when they brush their teeth. Any of those things are helpful to get people in the routine, because establishing a new routine is hard, you guys. If somebody hasn't already been taking supplements, it's going to be really hard for them to get into the routine of taking their Plexus. And once they start feeling better, that's going to give them a lot more incentive to stick with it. But in those early weeks, you want to make sure that they're being consistent so they can see improvement. If, like I checked in with a new customer today, she's been on products for 2 days. She said, my digestion is already doing better. My headaches are gone so far over the course of the last few days. That is not normal. Most people don't feel better in that short amount of time. But if they do offer up a win and you're just checking back in with them, I always say something to the effect of, that is so amazing. I'm excited for you. I can't wait to see where you'll be in another 60 to 90 days. So that's reminding them, because it also could be that they feel great now, but they're going to experience a detox around week 2 or 3 and feel worse. So just keep people's expectations real. And the time to set up expectations, the best time to do it is before they even order, so that they know kind of what they're getting themselves into with the products. If you check in with somebody and they do say the dreaded words, "I don't feel any different," here's what I say. So you can use this wording if you like, you can borrow it. I say, that is 100% normal at this stage. You're still in the very early stages of healing your gut and restoring nutritional deficiencies. I plan to check in with you weekly at first on this journey, but many people do not experience changes for at least 60 days. So I will tell anybody who says that they don't feel any different, in the first month or whatever else, that information. So the next thing I want to talk about is detox. So how to handle detox. The most important thing is to ask people questions, because detox is something that is not the same. It's different for every single person. Yes, Tina, I can put that. I'll type that out in the comments here when we are done. So how to handle detox: ask questions, find out what's going on with them individually. First and foremost, we talked about this a little bit already, be sure that they are drinking adequate water. This is especially important in the first 2 weeks as you're trying to get their bowels moving, get those toxins flushing out of the body. We detox through poop, pores, and pee. So you want them to be peeing, they have to be drinking water. You want them to be pooping, and if they're sweating extra, that can totally be normal too. Be sure they're taking their products correctly. So I want to give an example here. I have clients that come in to see me in the office. One of them this last week, who happens to be starting on Plexus products as well as seeing me in the office. She actually did not sign up with me through Plexus, so I hadn't been following up with her on those products other than to talk to her when she came to her weekly office visits. Now, I don't know the person who she signed up under, but whoever it was had her taking 4 ProBio 5 a day from the offset. She came in with like a flushed face, skin reactions, and her body was just totally crashed. So if you sign somebody up, do not just allow them to follow the dosages on the bottles. These products and the amount that's needed in them and when to take them, it's a little bit different from person to person. And if you go to the effort to reach out to somebody about Plexus and to sponsor them, you're their sponsor. You're the person to hold their hand, walk them through detox, be following up with them, and be 100% sure that they know how to take the products. If you're new and you don't know what that means, that's totally okay. That's what your sponsor and your upline is for. So you can connect them on a 3-way call or ask your sponsor and pass that information along, whatever you're more comfortable with. But this poor girl was on 4 Probio 5 a day, and she was detoxing out her skin like crazy. She started at 4. I rechecked her and I said, your body's wanting 1 right now. I typically only start people with 1 a day anyways. So we backed her off and slowed things down just a little bit for her. Just remember, these people trusted you. So know your stuff, or find someone who does, and be supportive, okay? Number 3, assure them that detox is normal, and it actually means that they're on the right track to feeling well. So I want to talk to you about some detox symptoms. I'm just going to list these. There are others as well, but these are the most common ones. Cold symptoms, kind of like sinus discharge, ear popping, stuffiness, brain fog, bloating, bowel movement changes, skin rashes, headaches, mood swings, fatigue, food cravings, heartburn, feelings of hunger or lack of appetite, shakiness. Any of those things can be the body normalizing. It's your blood sugar normalizing. It's your gut getting healthy. It's those bad bugs getting out of the gut, your inflammation levels reducing, but it does take time. The most important thing here with bowel movements, be sure that they are pooping. BioCleanse, I find out if people poop daily before they even order, because if they don't, BioCleanse is non-negotiable. I would say if they're not pooping daily and they can only afford 1 product, BioCleanse would be it. It's just magnesium. It's safe to take for long term. It's not, a harsh cleanse at all, but it's something that you have to have those bowels moving, or you're going to feel like poop, pun intended. So before they even order, find out if they're pooping. I have had people who struggled with that I actually did not have them start on Probio 5 until they were pooping on a daily basis with BioCleanse. The big thing here is when people are expressing those things to you, they're telling you that they're experiencing those symptoms, listen to them. Make them feel heard. Most people just want to be assured that their experience with detox is normal. If they're truly feeling rotten though, and you should know this, by how they're talking. If they're saying, oh, I had a little headache, but I pushed through and it was okay, that's a detox headache. But if they're saying, man, I had to leave work today, my headache was so bad, that also could be detox. But hey, we want to keep people comfortable so they stick with the products. So if they're truly feeling rotten, offer to help them slow down their detox to keep them comfortable. The number 1 product that's going to cause a detox would be Probio 5. I have actually had someone who started Plexus with me over a year ago. She's still on the products. She started with BioCleanse and Probio 5, and it took us 2 months to get Probio 5 introduced for her, because she was up to 4 to 6 BioCleanse per day, and she was pooping daily, but every time she would take 1 Probio 5, she would miss a day or 2 for bowel movements. We actually had to start her on half a capsule of Probio 5 and work our way up to the full capsule. She now takes 2 a day. Her gut's healthy. She feels awesome. She's eating better. Her food cravings are gone. She's lost 25 pounds. She's doing amazing. But man, for her, it was such a slow introduction of products because we had to be sure she was going to the bathroom. So just be sure that you are making people comfortable with how to take their products. And then if you've had someone express to you that they're experiencing detox, always check back with that person in no more than 2 days. I try to the next day, but if not, for sure within 2 days, to see how they are doing. Just follow up with them, let them know that you're there for them, ask if their symptoms are the same, better, or worse, so you know how to help coach them. If you're still feeling like the person might stop taking their product, pull that person into a 3-way conversation with your upline or sponsor. It's just one of those things where sometimes that third-party validation, hearing from somebody else that detox is normal, or having your sponsor who probably has more experience than you, helping them increase or decrease dosages of certain products, offer suggestions with water. I will even come in and talk to people about diet, because a lot of people get this wild hair that they're going to get healthy overnight. So not only will they start Plexus, but they'll completely stop eating sugar at the same time, which is actually going to amplify their detox. So I've legitimately told people before, it's great that you're so gung-ho. I'm here to support you. But honestly, sweetheart, go eat a Snickers bar because we don't need to do this in 2 days. And so that is just something to keep in mind as well. If they are not seeing changes with the products, I always ask too, are they eating a protein breakfast? Are they eating breakfast at all? I had one girl that was having her pink drink, but not eating breakfast, and telling me that she was still ravenous around 4 p.m. And I'm like, well, sweetheart, you've only eaten one meal and it's 4 p.m. Of course you're ravenous. You have to start eating something for breakfast. So even if you aren't a nutrition expert, you can kind of help them troubleshoot their diet. If you know their goal is weight loss and they express to you that they're eating pancakes loaded with syrup every single morning, they might have to change that somewhere along the line to achieve their goals. But Plexus should help them with their cravings so they start to crave foods that are healthier for them. And of course, we don't expect perfection with diet, but definitely if they're not feeling optimal or seeing changes with the products after a couple months, I go there, I tackle the tough stuff, and I ask them what they're eating on a regular basis and try to help them make adjustments there as well. So and just keep in mind also, no matter what you do, if you do everything right, you've got the communication lines open, you've coached them on how to take their products, you have followed up like mad, you had a subscription order set up, you can do every single thing right, and we still have something called attrition, okay? That is where you're going to lose people. That says nothing about you. If you've done everything correct, don't feel bad when you lose those people. I know it's really, really hard, especially if you know it's somebody who Plexus could have helped. But what I have found is those people that fall off, if you still love on them and check in with them, they just weren't ready to feel healthy yet. They started to feel better and it scared them, or they weren't ready to make the time commitment or the financial commitment to take the products. And they will usually come back a few months down the line and tell you that they're ready. So that is the big thing. Be able to love and release them if they are not ready to continue on their journey. So I am going to open up for questions if anybody has any, and then I will type that wording that I use for people in the comments here in just a second. Tina, I am going to address your question. I have a girl that took the Candida quiz and it was a 200, which is really high. This girl has had huge gut issues. She's a sugar addict, 20 years old, and 1 month in says she feels no different. Candida was my primary concern even before Plexus. Plexus has controlled it better than any other product on the face of the earth, for the record. But it took me years and years to get my Candida under control. And even when it was under control, it still wasn't awesome. I would have ice cream and I would wake up with a white coated tongue in the morning and achy and just have a headache the next day. Anytime anything crept into my diet that wasn't supposed to be there, it was worse. Now it's better since I've started on ProBio 5 because there is nothing better for Candida than that product. But once again, realistic expectations. I'm assuming you've already told her that it's going to take at least 60 days for the products to work. But at this point, if she's feeling no change, I would say for her to give it a couple more weeks, and then you are going to start to help coach her on whether or not she is reducing sugar in her diet and doing some of those things. She also may need to increase her ProBio 5 if she's not experiencing detox symptoms. If she's only taking 1 or 2 of those, sometimes to get the gut healthy, you have to go up to 3 or 4 of those, depending on each individual case. Brooke says she needs to max out to 4 ProBio 5. Yeah, and be sure she's drinking her water and pooping and stuff when she does that. But yeah, so get her up to 4 ProBio 5 for a month or 2 months.
How soon or how fast? Because she's on 2 ProBio 5 now, and in conversation with her about 2 weeks into Plexus, she said, I was talking to her about her diet and what she's eating, and because she'd say, well, do you think I need to eliminate this or gluten and stuff like that? So I had her tell me about her diet, and that's where then she kind of admitted that she eats like candy all the time. And I'm like, you're just feeding the Candida, you know? And so I explained that to her, and that kind of freaked her out, that it's like it's the Candida that's basically triggering you to eat sugar. You know,
yeah,
so she did tell me tonight that she's cut out most sugar, but
okay, good. And you know, most people don't know all the sources of sugar in their diet. Every single packaged food that you buy grocery store. Up to 80% of those have added sugar, including your marinara sauces. Even I found like pinto beans with added sugar in them. I mean, come on, but it's the reality. But so we aren't expecting people's diet to be perfect, but definitely increase up to 4 ProBio 5. If she's already on 2, I would have her bump up to 3. If in a week on 3, she's not experiencing any horrible detox, bump right up to 4. And I would say stick there for at least 2 months until she's starting to feel changes and like she's feeling like her cravings are under control. The amount of ProBio 5 that you're going to need on a daily basis is going to vary from person to person. I do have a tendency to tell people 2 ProBio 5 is a normal dosage. If you have made it through detox and you've been on the products for more than 6 months, we'll say, and you feel the need to take more than 2 ProBio 5, at some point you really do need to look at fixing your diet. Because there's just no point in taking a ton of products to counteract a poor diet. That's not what health is about either. So, but definitely she needs to increase her ProBio 5 until she's feeling changes.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
And thanks for the wording on what you said earlier. That's perfect wording for people who say, I have no change. So
they just want to be reassured that it's normal.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Thank you.
You bet. Does anybody else have questions? Awesome. Well, I'm going to go type that wording into the chat, and Brooke did record tonight. So if there's anybody that you would like to share this information with, whether it's the product dosage or how to kind of help them help their customers, you can feel free to share this with your team. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thank you.